Happy Thursday and welcome to On the Move with Nan and Cam. Cam has returned from her cruise from the faraway seas.
Daniel, if you didn't know, I went on a cruise over the weekend, I guess it was.
First cruise. She told me before this, we had asked the podcast listeners, we talked about this before. She did not get sick.
I didn't get sick. No, I was very happy about not getting sick. I do get motion sickness easily, but no, I didn't. I just use little patches, some Dramamine.
Good to go.
The boat. Anybody who ever says you can't feel you're on the boat, you're lying. You can feel it.
Congratulations on that.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
And we're joined today by Daniel Riddick of Ukrops, or he is the director of marketing at Ukrops. And we just are so excited to have him because who doesn't love everything Ukrops Homestyle Foods? I know you guys do, because anytime you post anything, anytime you post anything Ukrops Homestyle Foods, it blows up.
Yeah. Everybody wants it. It doesn't matter what it is. We should do like a chicken giveaway.
Yeah, we've never given away any chicken.
That would go crazy.
That would go crazy. Daniel, thanks for joining us. Just if you could let us know a little bit about how you got to be at Ukrops and how long you've been there.
For sure. Thank you so much for having me.
We love you're a prime guest.
I think I've got to say this is my first podcast appearance. So
yeah.
When I make it really big, I'll have you guys to thank.
Yes.
Actually, it's your second.
Is it?
We did that.
Yeah, you were in last year's 10K Love Week that was like on the move 10K Love Week, but the first in studio appearance.
First with me. I was sick that time, so
from her other
adventure. From my other adventure.
I think the Jeep broke down that day too. So I had to
sad times. It was a hard day to be interviewed then. So today's going to be better.
We've come so far. I'm Daniel Riddick, Director of Marketing for Ukrop's Homestyle Foods. I've been with the company, I'm on year 8, which it's kind of wild to think that it's been that long. But in Ukrop's years, that's not very long because a lot of our teammates have been with the company 30, 40, sometimes 50 plus years.
That's crazy.
So I'm early on in my journey, but I plan on being around for a while, hopefully. So a very brief background. I grew up in Richmond, always a Ukrop's lover, going to the grocery store with my parents and getting the free rainbow cookie, and just a huge affinity for the brand and the products. And I studied marketing at Virginia Tech and a master's degree at the VCU Brand Center, went off and did advertising in New York City for a number of years, working on food brands, large packaged goods food brands, Pillsbury, Cheerios, Hershey's. Once New York City had kind of done its number on my life, after 6 years, we decided, we wanted to have a family and decided to come back to Virginia and kind of come back home. And that's when Ukrops and I connected, and here we are.
Yeah, I feel like, obviously, like this might be an obvious question, but like describe how it's been being the title sponsor of the 10K and how that relationship has looked over the years.
Yes, the Monument Avenue 10K, Ukrop's Monument Avenue 10K presented by Kroger is so near and dear to our hearts at Ukrops. I believe this is the 20th.
It is,
because it's as old as me.
Okay, good way to remember.
Love it. And Ukrops has been involved since year 1. So we've had our name at the top of this for 26 years. And our CEO, Bobby Ukrop, has a history with the sports backers and helping found the organization. And it's just kind of been this really strong relationship from the very beginning between our company, Ukrops, and the sports backers. And I think there's so many shared values between the two organizations in terms of community engagement, health and wellness, active living, and just two organizations looking to foster a healthy, vibrant community. And we do that through the food that we make, and we also do it through supporting other organizations like the sports backers who have dedicated their mission to a healthy, vibrant community. So it's just such a perfect partnership.
Yeah, I think it's always, whenever I do any of our PR stuff for the 10K, it's such a wild talking point to think about because we're in the event industry. A lot of our events have new sponsors every, couple years when contracts expire. And I think the only other one that hasn't, which is nowhere near as old, is the CarMax Tacky Light Run. But that one, we're only in like year 10. Yeah, we're at 10 years because it was
no,
10,
12
years of Tacky. But yeah, 26 years of Ucrops. It's amazing. And I think too, it's like the recognition and brand identity is so high with the 10K now. I mean, we joke a lot of times people call it Ucrops 10K, or when you'll get messages on social media where people are like, thanks, Bobby, love your 10K.
Yes, exactly. Or like I've been out at our run club and they were like, are you doing the Ucrops? And I'm like, I'll be there.
It's wonderful, and that's what we want. I mean, obviously we love, as the director of marketing, I love the brand recognition and
Right.
all the functional benefits of sponsoring a community event from a business standpoint. But it's really about the feeling of what this really does for the people and the families within our community. Well, we're gonna keep coming back.
Good.
Right.
Love to hear it. We're going to attribute all that brand identity to you, to Daniel.
Yeah. Go Daniel.
So just part of the reason I feel like that has such an identity is because Ucrops is such a uniquely Richmond thing. Richmonders love a Richmond thing. And I have lived here since college, so I've lived here for a long time. I'm terrible at math, so I'm not even going to try right now on the fly, but long time. Ucrops were still a thing when I moved here. We're still like grocery stores. Like they still had full grocery stores. And I mean, I remember like that was like one of the first things people would tell me. Like other students that I met that grew up in Richmond when I came to VCU would be like, oh, have you been to Ucrops? And then that's continued even, now that it's Ucrops products in stores in the market hall. I mean, people immediately have such an affinity for the product. Why do you think Richmonders feel such love for Ucrops?
Yeah. I mean, like you said, Richmonders love a thing that is pure Richmond. So that's a big part of it. Our footprint is growing vastly, to really be beyond just Richmond. So I think that's a big part of my role too, is I got to keep Ucrop's magic alive in Richmond, kind of the way people know it and feel it, but then grow it beyond where people, they don't know the history, they don't know exactly what it means to people. So if I had to use one word to answer your question, I would use the word goodness, and that works on a few different levels. Described simply, it's good people making good food, and doing good in our community, and it's really as simple as that. And we have a set of values and a mission and a philosophy that's 87 years from our founder, Joe Ukrop, who is Bobby Ukrop's father, Bobby Ukrop being our current CEO. Those words I just used have been core to what this company has been about since 1937. So I think that's the other thing people like tradition, and people like simple values that they identify with, that they teach to their own families. Now, it's one thing to say that you are those things, and it's another to actually be those things. And I think that's where Ucrops is different than maybe a lot of other companies, because sure, most companies, they have their values and they have their philosophy, but it's how do you live it? How do you really bring it to life? And I believe that Ucrops has had a good track record of walking the walk, not just talking the talk. So that's like more the emotional side of it. We make great food.
You do.
People got to eat, and we make food that's delicious. It's made just like you'd make it at home. So that takes us pretty far as well. So I think it's how we treat our own people. It's how we treat people within our community. It's how we treat our retail partners, and it's being uncompromising on making high quality, delicious food. So I think you put all that together in a company, sprinkle on a little Richmond, and then there we go. We've got a successful model here.
Yeah, I was going to say that my in-laws, like with it being a Richmond thing, my in-laws, we have season tickets to VCU, and they've started doing the Rams on a Roll again, which I had remembered where if the Rams go on a scoring streak, the cheerleaders come out and throw White House rolls, and it's Rams on a roll. And they had friends from New Jersey that came to the game with them the other night, and she was like, they were so perplexed. They were like, people are on their feet for rolls. And I was like, she was like, yeah, it's these White House rolls. You wouldn't understand. Like, they're a big deal here.
And that's such a beautiful thing is, as a, marketing professional, like, we don't have the 32 grocery stores anymore to like naturally like where everyone shops. So like the brand just like is a flywheel. Like there's so many newcomers to Richmond and just younger people that are from here that never experienced that quote unquote magic when we had all those grocery stores and we were just kind of more ubiquitous around town. But with all the new people in Richmond and younger folks, like the word of mouth that and the stories that people tell and just the people that do know are diligent about educating those that don't know. So like that makes my job a little bit easier.
Right. Because you'll hear you'll be like something breakfast pizza, and people are like, breakfast pizza. It's like, oh, you never had it? Just wait. Yeah. I'll bring you some breakfast pizza. Yep. It's like something. Yeah, like you said, it's a lot easier when it's like things like that you want to show somebody or that you want somebody to try. That's like so Richmond. It definitely helps like spread the Ukrop's feel and Ukrop's magic. I was gonna say my dad used to work at Ukrop's like when he was younger, which obviously your parents tell stories about when they were younger and you're like, oh, whatever. But I went to an event, an alumni or like a fundraising event at the University of Richmond, and there was this older couple and he read my name tag. He's like, back when Ukrop's grocery stores are a thing, like there used to be this boy who bagged my groceries and that was his last name. And I think his name was like Kevin. And I was like, that was my dad. I was like, no, it's real. He really worked at Ukrop's.
I love that.
Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh. But I didn't catch their name, but I told my dad, I was like, hey, somebody remembers when you used to like bag their groceries. And he was like, yeah, I told you it was real. Yeah. So obviously like it's a very community based thing. Like people, just because the huge grocery stores aren't around still, like people remember it and like still think about it all the time.
Yeah, you're hard pressed to go to a cookout, I feel like, or a potluck and not have an item from Ukrop's.
Yeah, 100%. Especially if you're in Richmond, there's something from Ukrop's. Oh yeah, there. And I always hope that it's like the pasta salad. Okay, so since I said that, what is the most popular item at the market hall, and what's your favorite?
Gotcha. So there's a couple different answers to this question. You can think about it. Yeah, like what do Richmonders love? But then there's the other part of our business, which is growing rapidly, which is like, what are we doing outside of Richmond? What are we doing on a national scale? So on the kitchen side of things, chicken salad is just
on that roll.
That's we make the most delicious chicken salad.
You do.
What's funny, a little small side story. I don't know if I've ever told anyone this. I didn't like chicken salad before I started working here.
Blasphemy.
It made me really nervous because I was like, well, I work at a company that like lives and breathes chicken salad. Like, how am I going to get through this? So being a good Ukrop's teammate, I just ate it anyway. And now I love it.
Yeah.
How can you not? Like voluntarily buy. So chicken salad is probably one of our most well-known, widely sold products.
Okay.
And then so on the bakery side in this area, you've got your greatest hits. The rainbow cookies are just iconic. Our White House rolls, like you mentioned at the VCU games, are just iconic. Our decorated cakes, you're hard pressed to go to a birthday party and the cake not be Ukrop's. So those are kind of the bell ringers locally. But if we expand that footprint, we're selling our grilled chicken now through Kroger, the presenting sponsor of the Monument Avenue Ukrop's Monument Avenue, okay, presented by Kroger. Our grilled chicken is going, we're expanding to multiple divisions with the ultimate goal of expanding to many more, if not all, divisions across the country. And then
Nice.
cinnamon crumb cake is
That's good.
the same thing, being sold nationally through Kroger. And there's a lot more coming. So that's exciting. And what that does is, while, if you live in Richmond, you might not care as much about what we're doing outside of Richmond. But what that does is allows us to kind of create a little economic engine that helps us reinvest back into what we're doing here locally. So the stronger and the larger the company gets, the more we can do for our community here at home. So it's pretty exciting time to be at Ukrops.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
Ooh, my favorites. I have several.
Well, I'm gonna ask you next, so get prepared.
I grew up going to the stores, and I would sit in the little cafe while my mom would shop sometimes. And the barbecue really became my go-to, and still to this day, like, I can't get enough of it. So our barbecue, I really enjoy, either straight out of the container or on a White House roll. Love it. On the bakery side, I have a sweet tooth, which is a problem.
Yeah, with where you work, for sure.
It's a problem. But the buttercream coffee cake, I would probably have to give the edge. There's all of our Danish, like, there's nothing else like it that you can get anywhere. We're in there folding the dough by hand and laminating it, and really putting a lot of love into making these products. So that buttercream coffee cake, there's nothing like it. I could talk about this all day, so I'll stop. Curious as to what y'all's favorites are.
I will say, I do love that cinnamon crumb cake, and we need Gelati Celesti to bring back the cinnamon crumb cake, Bobby's ice cream. That
Yeah,
was delicious. But I am a savory girl, so I like the breakfast pizza. I also think breakfast pizza is a real treat for me. Like, I'm not getting it that often, so it's delicious. Also controversial. Sometimes I like the non-meat because
yes.
it's got more cheese. It's real cheesy.
Okay.
But then if we're going with what I buy the most, I mean, I love the chicken salad. If we're going with what I buy the most, I love a Ukrop's quiche. This is like this is a thing a lot of people know about me because I talk about it a ton, but my husband doesn't love quiche and doesn't really like, he's fine with it, but he's like, not ever, that's not something he wants for dinner. Yeah. So when he goes out of town, part of my like fun stay at home girls night ritual is like, oh, I'm getting a quiche. And recently he was gone for like a week and I was like, I'm getting a full size quiche.
And I'm eating that all week by myself.
Yeah. So any of your quiche, I love a breakfast quiche. I love the quiche Florentine. What's
I've
your
never
favorite?
tried one.
Oh, they're good. They're like the creamiest, savoriest quiche in the game.
We do well on quiche, and that is another area of expansion
Okay.
we're investing in.
Spread the quiche.
Spread the quiche.
There's more quiche to come. So
Oh yeah.
Love that. No, I think it's like it's ruined all other quiche for me. If I go somewhere else, even a restaurant, and I've
You
got
gotta
quiche,
want
I'm
that.
like, that's not you.
No, thank you.
What's your favorite?
I like the breakfast pizza a lot. I will say, one thing that I was eyeing the other day, I had to go in there to get some cupcakes to make a video.
Yeah.
One thing I really have been eyeing, and I've tried them once before, are the like cake pops, but like they're not on a stick.
I don't think I've
I
ever
don't
seen
think-
them.
Are they on a
we
stick?
call those cake drops. Yes, it's kind of like our version of a cake pop. So we
Yum.
take our kind of some of our signature cakes. I mean, and you basically just kind of like mash them up.
Put it into a ball.
Yeah.
You enrobe it with chocolate generally, and then we have them for our signature cakes, and then we have our cake of the month program. So we do a cake drop for the cake of the month as well, and they are quite delicious.
I've
Is
had
the
them
cake of the
before.
month just a different flavor, like a different featured special flavor of cake a month?
Yes,
Okay.
they're generally seasonal. It's been a very popular program for us.
I bet. Ashley introduced me to the fresh strawberry icing that you guys do seasonally. Wow. That's delicious.
Yep.
That's good stuff.
And that the cake of the month for February is, we call it chocolate covered strawberry cake, or reverse that, strawberry covered chocolate cake, which it's our devil's food cake layers with the icing that you're talking about.
Yum.
I gotta get
Marketing
it.
team, let's go.
It's quite delicious.
I love that. So you're talking about kind of the expansion that you all have been doing in the market. What goes into, I know, like, I feel like, I don't know how often it happens that you release a new product, but what is that like, research of what type of new product you're going to release, and then the marketing of it? What does that process look like?
Yeah. Well, it can happen in a couple different ways. In some cases, we know like there's an opportunity in the market, like for this or that, something that we're not currently making. So it'll be kind of more of a proactive, like we want to innovate on this within this area and offer this new product, and then go through the motions to get that into the market. Oftentimes it is the market telling us this is what we want, whether that's consumers or oftentimes it's our retail partners themselves. So for instance, Kroger saying, hey, we'd love, you have such good Danish / breakfast items, like what is something that you could make for us that we could sell across the entire country. And that gave birth to cinnamon crumb cake.
Mm.
Quiche, for example, we're working on a lot of new quiches, and they want to sell those on a larger scale. There's new flavors of that coming out.
So excited.
So it kind of, the impetus of the new product can kind of come from one of those two directions. But from there, it all starts with an idea, right? Like we have a whole product development team whose job it is to do this. So it starts with the idea or concept, and then they develop it on a small scale. We have multiple test kitchens over here at Ukrops, and we've got food scientists and, chefs and just all manners of food experts on our product development team to do that work. Sounds pretty fun, right?
Yeah.
And then
Dream job.
the beauty is then we have meetings where we get to taste all the stuff. So
Mm.
kind of go through different iterations of a product, and we'll taste it and tweak it, taste it, tweak it. And then we're lucky to have the Ukrops Market Hall, which really serves as a test ground for us to try new things. So we'll oftentimes try out new things there to get some, proof of concept. Like, is this something people like? It's something that's going to sell. And then once we can kind of prove that, we work on then making the product at scale. So that sometimes can work in our current process. Sometimes it might mean we need to invest in a new piece of equipment, or we need additional resources of some sort to scale up a new product. And then the kind of typical marketing and advertising that you see, we do a lot of social media around new products and have loyal following. And again, I mentioned kind of the word of mouth bit. So like that's our kind of core marketing tool. And then we rely on word of mouth to kind of spread it beyond there. One of our best marketing tools is just getting people to try the product. So anytime we'll do a lot of sampling events at the market hall, and in certain cases with our retail partners. Our research tells us if someone tries the product, they're going to buy it. And if they buy it, they're probably going to keep buying it. So just getting people to try the food works well. And then, of course, our sponsorships and our partnership with sports backers and things we do in our community just to keep general awareness of the company around helps as well. So that's kind of the beginning to end of getting a product out to market.
What's your busiest holiday season?
Definitely all the holidays in Q4. So that would be Thanksgiving ranks number one.
Okay.
And Christmas after that, Easter after that. But yeah, during our holiday season, we run a holiday meal pickup operation, and we run well over 2,000 vehicles in a day
Crazy.
through that. So imagine like the Chick-fil-A line. Like Chick-fil-A's really figured out their drive-through situation. Imagine that, but with 2,000 cars coming in,
That's nuts.
not all at once, but like kind of. So it took many years of trial and error and kind of iterating to get this experience to be a well-oiled machine. And we've kind of figured it out with much help from other departments here. But we've kind of really created this special holiday experience where you order your meals online in advance and kind of come to this. It's almost like a community event in itself, like going and getting in the drive-through line, and we've got people there to greet you, and we give out rainbow cookies. I like to think that we've turned something that could be a nuisance of like I got to go pick up my meal into part of the holiday tradition and holiday experience.
Yeah.
So we always get excited about the holidays.
Yeah. I just was like, Thanksgiving, people got to be all over those pies. That's high pie time.
Big pie time. We sell a ton of pies, and the real estate community in Richmond has really latched on. We get massive orders from real estate companies, and I think
Our realtor does that as well. Yeah, like where they bring you a pie. They do a canned food drive, and if you have canned food, you get a free pie.
There you go. So
Yeah.
we like that. So yeah, we're very passionate about the holidays here.
Yeah. We had chocolate chess pie at one of my Christmases, so delish.
I feel like that's something I always have. I think that's it. The chocolate pie. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that. We have that every year.
I had never had the mini pies until 10K reveal day.
Mhm.
Wow. The mini pies are maybe my ideal dessert because crust is a big crust person, and it was like more
real,
crust.
Yeah,
it was good.
So that's another one that through our good friends at Kroger, those are going national.
Sweet.
Yeah. So
That's great.
yeah. Dan, all your favorite products are the ones we're making heavy investments in.
Exactly.
I've got great taste.
So what is your favorite? Because you haven't been there for 26 years, but you've been there for 8 years. So you've been a part of the 10K for a while. What's your favorite memory from the 10K, and why do you think the partnership's been so successful between us and Ukrops?
Yeah. Well, I have not been at Ukrops for 26 years, but I've been connected to the Richmond community almost 41 years now. So my favorite memory of the 10K is participating in it.
That's a good answer.
I've been participating in it. I have to go back and remember when my first one was. I remember the early ones, like this is some bad weather luck. I remember just running in cold rain. I've probably run it at least probably eight-ish times, I'd say, over the years. Like maybe I didn't get back when I was living in New York to get back, but for me, there's no other event like this.
Yeah.
It's such a special thing, and it happens every year that I run it. You get this just kind of like electric feeling when you're with tens of thousands of other people in your community, like all there together to achieve the same goal, which is to run this race. So it's like you have like your individual hype and like your own goals of like maybe you have a time goal you're trying to meet or whatever. So it's like this very individual experience that you're going through with I don't like 25,000, 30,000 other people at the same time. And that's just a wild feeling to have when you're doing it. And I tried to think this morning, I'm like, what else can you compare that to? Like, what else is like that? And like, there's really nothing else like it at that scale with that many people.
No.
It's that to me, it's like you get that electric feeling. You even like start to maybe get a little emotional.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, it's like a really cool thing. So like that to me is what comes to top of mind when you ask like what's your favorite memory of the 10K. And then from like the Ukrop sponsorship side of things, like being at the expo and being able to spread so much joy by handing out our rainbow cookies and just, again, like, there's not many other even sponsorship opportunities where you're going to be in front of that many people and get to positively impact. It's just all smiles, it's all happiness of people excited to run this race, and you give them a rainbow cookie on top of that. It's just like, man, it's great. So being a part of that is just, we're blessed to be able to partner with you guys on that. So in terms of why the partnership's been so successful, I kind of take it back to what I said earlier. There's just such a solid overlap on the values that your organization has and our organization has, for us to be able to come together and do that collectively through this really special event. You just can't beat it. It's really amazing that we've been doing it for 26 years. And um, again, I plan on being at Ucrops for a while, so I look forward to doing it for 26 more and more after that. So it's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, no, it's great. And I think like there's not many events with this sort of longevity that are still continuing to grow and still so well received by the community. So much of it is the Richmond community, and I think that's what makes it such a great event. Yeah,
I agree.
this is maybe now the hardest part of your interview. We're going to get into the this or that. So you get 3 rapid fire questions.
All right.
Also, would be remiss to not say that we've got Palentine's Day tonight here at the stadium. And
Yes.
that's going to have some treats from Ukrop. So super excited about that. But we have it starting from 4:30 to 7.
Mhm.
And we have tons and tons and tons of activities. Friendship bracelet making, temporary tattoos, a mocktail station. We're selling some fun merch. We'll have group runs and walks. So we have a lot of everything going on. And you were tired of the rain. It's not going to rain anymore. And it's supposed to be like 56 degrees.
Well,
Oh yeah, it's like not going to be that bad today. So perfect time to get outside with your pals.
Perfect. We're excited to be there and help support in that.
No, we're very excited to have you all. I have a question. You
I have
good? You
one.
good next? I got 2, I think. So this is good. First one is one thing that never gets old for me is driving golf carts at events. I love it. I would love to own my own golf cart. That's part of my forever plan. If you have to pick between driving a golf cart, would you rather drive a golf cart or the fleet Jeep?
That's tough because I'm a golfer. I'm a golfer, and I owned my own golf cart for.
Oh my gosh,
drives both.
But
living my dream.
I live in like a golf community.
Okay.
Technically, by Chesterfield County law, I'm not allowed to have that golf cart.
Oh, okay.
So we ended up getting rid of it.
Sad times.
To make sure we are following the law. However, if I have to pick, as much as I love golf, I gotta pick the Fleet Jeep because, I mean, if anyone's seen that thing, I don't know if
It's
you can throw up a little image when you edit this or not, but that thing is sweet.
Yeah.
And it's pretty fun to pal around town in the 1964 original vintage Willys Fleet Jeep. So
Yeah. Anybody can say they can drive a golf cart, but like not everybody can say they drive that.
No, and it gets a lot of attention. Like when we've took that out for 10K Love Week, like people are immediately like, "What is that?"
Yeah.
Like they love it.
Yeah.
Yep, we love it. It'll be at the 10K Expo this year. I think we're gonna have both, or let's say fingers crossed, both the Fleet Jeep and the Model T as part of our expo.
Whoa,
That's exciting.
that is exciting.
Pretty stoked about that.
That's so cute. Okay. My this or that is, do you prefer a White House, a Ukrop's cupcake, or a rainbow cookie?
I mean, obviously I love both, but if I had to pick one, I'm going cupcake because there's just something about Ukrop's icing that
It's good.
Ukrop's icing is good.
Yeah.
I just can't any other cake. I can't do it. It's got to be Ukrop's. Both the white buttercream and the chocolate fudge are both just phenomenal. So I'm not saying anything negative about my rainbow cookie because that's
It's a
big
tradition.
one. But if I had to pick, I'm going cupcake.
Okay. My last one is, if you have to spend a day at Ucrops not doing your job, but doing another job, would you rather be, you're involved in food service, would you rather be in the kitchen at the market hall or in the bakery off Maywell?
That's a tough one too, because I love making things and I love, like, our bakery has such a great energy in it. And you're just like, it's like if you like bakery products, it's like just like you're in heaven. Just
Yeah, that's like, I got to take a tour. That's maybe one of the coolest
pictures,
professional things I've gotten to do.
and
Yeah.
like it's full of people making these beautiful decorated cakes. However, I would have to probably choose the market hall because just one of my passions is interacting with people and interacting with our customers. So at the market hall, you get the opportunity to see the impact that our food and our service has on actual people and families. And it's so great to be in the market hall and see everyone in there. I often compare it to like an episode of like Sesame Street where
Yeah.
it's like you have like a police officer standing next to a nurse, standing next to a construction worker, standing next to a hedge fund executive,
All the people of your neighborhood.
standing next to a stay-at-home mom with small children. Like, it's just this brilliant little microcosm of a community. So that's if I had to choose, that's what I would choose.
Love it. Get him a chef's hat, get him in there.
Very front facing.
Well, Daniel, thank you so much. And I know that everybody is so excited to visit the market hall, get all of their Ucrops products. I was imagine that this weekend will be big with Valentine's Day. So get your Valentine, all of the great Ucrops products that they want. And then I know that everybody will be excited to see you guys at the expo and at race day. So we can't wait
for lunch today now that we've been talking about it. I'm getting real hungry and I'm like, I might as well just go.
Love it. Look out for Cam later today, Ucrops Market Hall. But Daniel, thanks so much.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity and looking forward to everything 10K.
Sounds great. We love you, Ucrops. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for listening.
Bye.